Good afternoon everybody, how are you? Welcome to Friday Live, CraftStash Live, Friday 12:30 every single week. We always have new launches, offers, deals, giveaways as well. We've got a giveaway during this live as well. And of course, fabulous designers with fabulous demonstrations, and that's what we've got today. So we are launching the Sheena Seasonal Stroll. Now this is one I'm going to struggle with, so Sheena might have to say it more than me. Sheena's Seasonal Stroll. And it's exactly as it says on the tin. I mean, Sheena will explain it all, but you've got your seasons. In fact, you haven't got your seasons. Do you know what? This has been so popular already. We're only back down to 2 seasons now. We've only got 2 left. They are, in my opinion, the nicest ones. So, I mean, in general, not in Sheena's designs, they're all wonderful, but the nicest seasons to have outside your doorstep, spring and summer. They are in stock. They are available still. We have got deals on them. As you can see, the lowest priced item is $7.49. So if you're on a tight budget, you can still have a little dip into this collection. If you do decide to go for the entire bundle, that's all 3 items that are left, you're going to save 20% on that as well. Go and check it all out at CraftStash. The address is here. There is going to be another chance to win if you're catching up on this not live, so if you're watching this later on, there is another opportunity for you to win some of this collection, which I will give you at the end. Do remind me, everybody, in the comments. And hello to everybody who is commenting already. We've got we've got lots of people. Better just scroll back up to the beginning. Pooja first, always hello to you from Dublin and Ireland. How's the weather at your end? We've got sunshine. It's beautiful here. I'm in Suffolk in England, and yeah, beautiful sunshine today. Very nippy, very cold and frosty, but gorgeous when the sun's out. Hello to Catherine. She says, hi Sheena, hi Lou. It's pretty windy here. Is it me? Is it me? I love hearing about the weather all over the country. She's turned up the sound so she can drown out the wind. Can't wait to see what you do. Well, Sheena has provided us with some beautiful demonstrations. She is live as well, so we're going to pop straight over to Sheena and say hello since she's waiting patiently in the wings. Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm good, yeah, cold. You can't even continue till you get the weather forecast, Lou. So, let's get out of the way. It's bright and sunny, but cold here in Evesham today.
Exactly as it is here. So hopefully, I mean, it's perfect. If it's going to be winter, this is how you want it, really, isn't it?
It's a pretty day. It's lovely, but you've got to wrap up. Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
Yes. How's family? How's pup?
Oh, the pup's fine. The pup's very active. Maria not so active, but she's getting there. It's going to be a slow thing to get her back to kind of almost fit. It's going to be a long haul, but she's on making the right progress now.
Brilliant.
Yay.
Good to hear. Glad. Yeah, brilliant. Fabulous. But you are on your lonesome today. Usually have Maria in the background. So yeah, it'll all be fine.
I'm here in my studio, trying to get warm. But yes, but I'm looking forward to it and enjoying it. And thanks to everybody that you've loved this collection again, built on the My Kind of People collection that sold out, which was people and stamps, Lou, and it was just silhouette people this time. They didn't have detail in them. But what we did was we kind of souped it up. We kind of revved it up more, and we put stamps with the people this time, so that you've got you can use stamps, or you can use the dies, or you can use them both together. With again those 8x8 big stencils that give you the setting and the backdrop. So you've been loving it because you can make your family, the family that you're sending it to.
Absolutely personalised.
I think that's the secret. That's why I've been loving this one. It's so personal.
It is gorgeous. We've seen some of the samples. I'll come back to you in just a moment, actually, Sheena, so we can quickly go through those items in a bit more detail and ask you some more questions about them. I'm just going to run through a bit of housekeeping, not the exciting stuff, but the things we have to do. So as I said, we have got the collection here for you. We've got that competition though. If you want to win it's going to be the spring and summer items. So there's 3 items there. If you want to win those for yourself, all you need to do is comment. And I'd love to know you're limited in choice now because autumn and winter have sold out, but if of the 4 seasons of Sheena's stencils, which is your favourite, and ideally bonus points why. That would be great. Let us know in the comments, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. I'm just going to pop over as well. There's lots of people. So we've got Kim Johnson saying get well to Maria. Louise Noah, hello to you as well. Fifi Stamper, Fiona, hello to you. Ferry Crafter, we've got lots of you. Colette, good afternoon to you too. I really wish I could comment on everybody, say hello to everybody. Just going to pop over to Facebook and let that load. Look, it does this every time, doesn't it? I tell you what, let's put that there. Hello to everybody watching on Facebook. Your comments will load up in just a moment, maybe after the first demonstration. But yeah, so if you want to win wherever you're watching, just comment which of the stencils is your favourite, maybe why as well. You can pop over to CraftStash, you can see that here, and you can see what those stencils look like. You can also see the amazing, beautiful projects that Sheena and her team have been making with this. Okay, Sheena, shall we have a look at this in more detail now? Over to you, my love. Let's see what you've got for us today.
Right. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to take you through it. I think it's the most logical way to show it. I'm going to show you, break it down. I sound like cool there. And then we're going to look at samples. So in context, this is because it can get a bit confusing, because I know what I'm like when I'm watching like a show. It's like, I want to know, I want to buy it now, but what do I get? So what you get is the spring and summer is based around this set here. This is the set of stamps and dies which apply to those 2 seasons, spring and summer. Having said that, with a bit of creative work, you can make them work. You can put clothes on them and kind of like, make it all work like things like the bike and the dog and things like the scooter and things, they're going to work. They're all so the idea was they cross across the seasons as well. Beautiful. So they're the stamps and dies, big box, big package. Let me show you all of them when they're married up together. That's what they look like together.
Love it.
That in shot there, Lou?
That's perfect.
Yeah, brilliant.
And
so you can see.
They're a good size, aren't they?
They're a good size, and there's loads. You know what these are like? I blame my mother. And when I was a kid, if anybody remembers Fuzzy Felt, let us know.
Yes.
I think my mum liked Fuzzy Felt more than I did. I did like it, but she bought me, I had stacks of them, like stacks of boxes of Fuzzy Felt, which were little things, and you used a Velcro background, and there were shapes just like this, and you made your own story. So if you've got young ones, these are perfect, because it's like you can cut them out. In the summer, coming up to the holidays, have them prepare a little scrapbook, have them make cards, and make them personal, tell their story. So those were the stamps and dies. Then the stencils kind of split it into seasons, but not necessarily either. This is the spring season. But what you're going to use is you're going to use aspects. You can just use the skyline, the city skyline. You can just use the cherry blossom tree, and then you can use 2 of them by flipping it over and doing it each side, because it's a stencil. You're just going to use aspects of it as well. So let me show you some samples of what you can do with them. So smaller format cards, 3D cards, how cool are they? Imagine the kids playing with those with you.
Love that.
If I had, if you're a crafter in the family, if you're the granny or the nana or the nanny or whatever, or mother or auntie, cool auntie, that's all, I'll have to be the cool auntie. You can imagine the kids playing with these with you. They tell them to get their imagination going, tell their story, and smaller format cards as well. So it doesn't have to be, even though they are 8x8 stencils, you can make them any size and format you want.
I'm just going to flip you 2 seconds. There we go. We always do this. I don't realise that you are backwards until you hold something up with wording on.
Oh, bless. Well, there you go. Look, see, now we've got the thing to mention. I was going to mention here, because it's gone around the other way now. That could be an autumnal tree, just as easy as it could be a spring tree.
Gorgeous, love it.
Autumn colours, you got an autumn tree. So, look how cool they are. Look, playing frisbee.
I want to be there.
It's holidays, coming up to the holidays, have a happy holiday card, birthday cards, spring, summer birthday cards, all cool. And the team are amazing again. We've got, just stunning samples. Now that's the spring. Then we've got the beach huts for summer. Love these. It's a thing that until I went down south, I hadn't seen beach huts like in the flesh or in the wood.
Do you know what? I know, I heard you talking about this before, about how this can look like other things. That scene reminds me, on the stencil, almost as like a festival or a fair where you've got all the tents.
Oh yeah.
And you've got the meadow, the tents, you've then got, it can either be trees, hills or clouds behind it even.
Absolutely, and that's what I drew it like. I drew it so that you can interpret it how you want to interpret it. But yeah, we do have a massive fair up in Newcastle called the Hoppins, which is huge. I think it was the largest travelling like fun fair.
Yeah.
And yes, those kind of huts there would be working for that. So you could paint it like a big wheel, a Ferris wheel in the background, even. You know,
yeah, definitely.
use a circle, draw it round.
I love that with the sun. That is really effective.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, they're fabulous. They're just, different. So the sand can be sea. It could be sand, again, depending on how you colour it. Again, a smaller format, if you like a smaller format card. And looking into the cards, look, cool.
Really love it. I love that some people have used it as clouds. Some people have interpreted it into sort of greenery. Yeah, really beautiful.
Absolutely. And see the bikes in proportion. Look, you see she's riding the bike and handing them. Oh, and that, I love that could be a lovely little engagement card, isn't it? Like, it's like charming. I could imagine an advert around that, summer days, and she's out cycling, and then, there you go.
Oh, look at that. That sun is honestly, Sheena, I don't know if you or your team made that, but you have a very talented team. That background sky is so pretty.
Amazing. That's Pamela's card, isn't that stunning? It's beautiful. Look at what Debbie's done here as well with the silhouette. So if you're not confident with colouring, you want to make it quicker, cut them out of black card, use a little bit of just a white pencil or a gel pen, and it gives it that fabulous like nighttime look. And then daytime. So loads and loads you can play with these, Lou, and they're just fun. And I think you break it down, because I'm designing all the time and thinking I always want to bring you things you want to love to play with. But with this one, I think it's because there's just playing, and it's endless playing. You're never going to stop coming up with combinations. It's playing for all the family. So, old to young, and it's also male, female, any age cards that they're going to apply to. I think that's winner chicken dinner.
Fabulous. Amazing. Thank you for showing us through all of that. Should we go straight to one of your demonstrations now? Should we see what you do with them? We're going to look first at stairs. Now, we have to make a little apology. I'll do this. My face. I'll do this bit. I have to apologise because we didn't foresee autumn, winter selling out so quickly. So Sheena's done as a demonstration on autumn and winter, using the stencils and stamps for those. But given the short notice, we've decided to stick with it. We've decided, rather than Sheena rush around at the last hour and try to do you a spring-summer demonstration video, we would show you this anyway, because there's amazing techniques. You're going to be able to use these techniques for any of your stencils. I mean, they're huge. They're absolute whoppers. So you're going to be able to use these techniques across your spring-summer stencils, and then later on the stamps as well. You can use the spring-summer stamps in the same way as the autumn-winter. So enjoy the techniques. I hope you learn lots from them. I'm sure you will. I did when I watched this back. And we'll be back to remind you of the competition and the offers after this first part of this video.
So I thought we would work through this smaller format, this DL card here. Mostly because you see me making, and the team making, really large 8x8 cards, and the stencil's that big. It's a big stencil. They're big, heavyweight mylar, 8x8, so great for wall art and larger format cards. But you don't need to make them that big. We can make them smaller, like the DL or even an A6 card. And this card here is Sharon's, and I'm using that for inspiration, but it's not going to be a carbon copy. We might tweak it and change up little bits as we go, but I think it's just a really nice one just to show you how everything works in conjunction for all through the year. Funnily enough, I just love autumn colours. They're just so lovely to mix with autumn colours, so that's what I'm feeling. And in winter, coming up to spring, so let's do autumn. Makes sense in Sheena world. Right, so what I've done is I have taped down some of the textured white card, which I love that card. It's really heavyweight, it takes inks brilliantly, takes watercolours, water-based products, love it. So I've taped it down so the card's behaving. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stencil, and I'm also going to make that behave nicely. But I'm going to look and see which bit I want to focus on. Where do I want, I should mention as well, this is bigger than DL. It's going to give me trim room, so I can then take away the messy bits at the edge, and also have a little bit of wiggle room to see which way to get the lamps, for example, exactly where I want them to be. But I think about there looks good. So I'm going to take some more tape, and I'm going to tape along this top little bit here. There's not a lot of stencil here because I like to give you as much value for money and fit in as much of the image as I can for you. But that should do just to anchor it so that we can just keep having a quick look and flipping it back down again. So colours I'm going to use, I'm going, as I've said, autumnal. We definitely want Rusty Hinge in here. So I'm using Distressing, should mention that as well. Definitely Rusty Hinge. Definitely, we might go a pop of mustard seed, even though it's a bit in your face, but we can do it. I'm fine. Spiced marmalade, and we want a brown in there, maybe vintage photo. That's a nice warm brown. Distressing. So let's start with that. Well, maybe some greens as well. Forest moss, and possibly some peeled paint. Right, that's it. You can see autumnal colours. I'm just going to pop them back now, so I've got a little bit of working space, but I wanted you to be able to see what we're going to start with. Now, I always like to start with a lighter colour. So start where you think there's going to be, you can always darken, but lightening is a different matter. So I'm going to start with mustard seed. And I'm going to give you a couple of ways you can apply this. The first way is using your applicators. Now, this isn't even a clean applicator. When I said start with a bright colour, you can see how, look, this stuff coming out there. You know, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but you know, eventually I'll wash these. I usually just pop them in the sink with a bit of like washing up liquid and then dry them. So the stain, but they're still they're good to go. That they're clean. There's no ink in them, but they do tend to stain, but that's okay. So I'm creating a kind of glow here. Later, when we take this away, I might use a cleaner applicator, if I can find one. And because when I take this away, see we've got image there, but the background I want to colour too. So kind of like we'll see, I may actually darken this. So that's one way to do it anyway. So let's put some, let's say if we want to do this in a quick hit, quick lay down of colour, this is a brilliant way to do it. So these big bits of tree here, where we're going to have autumnal foliage there. I'm going for lighter at the bottom, and I'm going to work up to darker at the top, but that's definitely great base there. I'm liking that, really pretty. And I'm liking the fact that there's a little bit of colour on the applicator. And I'm going across here where all these autumn leaves are going to be falling. And again, with the lighter colour first, and then we can darken. You can darken at any time, but lightening is a whole other ball game. So always start, like I said, light, and then go dark. So we've got that mapped out. The trees aren't mapped out because I want them darker. And I'm going to darken everything. So you're going to keep looking at it. Just keep checking out what you've got. Right, we've got a start of a scene here. What I definitely want to do is I want to darken these lampposts. I want to darken the trunks of the trees, but I don't want to darken all of this. This is where these fabulous little brushes come in. Love these. These are perfect for doing that, for more precise application. So let's take some vintage photo and we'll get these trunks coloured here. So use them straight up and down. Don't use them at the side because they're flat, you know, the flat end. So if you use them at the side, you're not going to get the best application out of them. So straight up and down, and you can build them up so that it's much more subtle. You've got more control with these than you have with your sponge applicators. And of course you can get in and be a bit more precise on the detail as well, which we will do in a minute. But for now, I'm going in quite thick and heavy-handed because I do want these dark. I may even at some point decide I want to go in with black soot and darken them even further. But I want that because I know I'm going to darken the background when I take the stencil away. I want these to be darker than the background. So I'm building this up, as I said, pretty dark right now, and could even go in with the black soot as well. So trunks of the trees, nice and dark, like that. And it's up to you how fancy you want to get with the colouring of these. I quite like having a little bit of a play like this with the stencils. So I find this, you know, pretty good fun because stencils they're so useful. You can make them look nothing like a stencil by going over and adding a little bit of ink, and where there's what we call the bridges, you know, where you've got like this branch hits that branch, you've got to have a little bit of stencil there, it'll all just fall out. So what you can do when you're done to make it less stencily is you can go in with a paintbrush and paint in that little bridge mark so that there isn't a gap and it doesn't look like a stencil, so they don't have to stay stencily, if you know what I mean. Right, so we should have some tree trunks going on there now. They're nice and defined, and yeah, that's looking good. We're happy with that. Okay, right, so next thing, I want these lampposts to be quite dark. In fact, very dark. In fact, black. Let's just say we're going to do them black. So black suit for these here. So it's going in there with them, like that. Thank you very much. These are just perfect for stenciling. These are so cool. All right, that's them done. We've got the lampposts in now. Next thing, just stop and have a look and see what's happening. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play with these trees, the colour in the trees. So we've got the light colour. What I'm thinking is the light source is going to be from these lamps. So the bottom of the trees, the boughs are going to be lighter at the bottom. So I'm going to go in with some rusty hinge now and darken a little bit kind of from the top down here. So leave a little bit of the light, and you know what, if you get it a little bit textured, that doesn't matter. In fact, you could pounce and really play on that texture in this. See, if you pounce, you get a much stronger lay down of colour, and you get more of a fluffy foliage kind of look. So have a play with the brushes, just have a bit of a play like that. If you use a circular motion, you're going to get more of a blend. But sometimes you don't want smooth, you want texture. If I was drawing these trees and to give it the impression of leaves, I'd be scribbling away with the pen to give it that rough kind of, you know, impression of lots of leaves together. And that's exactly what I want. So pouncing away. And we can have another look, see what we've got. I'm liking the look of that. It's coming on nicely. I think it'll look pretty cool. Whoa, very nice. And then let's go with a little bit darker. Let's go with even some vintage photo towards the top, because we want it to look like, actually, you know what, we might pop a little bit of green just where they're just starting to turn the leaves. Let's pop a little bit of this, the forest moss, which is a very warm green, in there as well. I hope you enjoy playing with the colours like I do. If you're collecting distress inks or any kind of blendable ink like this, and you might have another brand of blendable ink, and that's great. And by the way, it's like watercolours. They all play nice together. You don't have to just stick with one brand. If it's water-based blendable ink, you can mix up your brands. Just because you haven't got, you know, every colour in every brand, it's fine. Water-based products play nice with each other, which is why I love water-based products. Right, so we've got leaves done there. See what we've got. Yeah, that's looking very autumnal. Now this ground here, I'm going to keep that quite light, and I'll tell you why. Because we're going to take the stencil away and we're going to start to blend the background. Maybe put a little bit of rusty hinge, maybe at the base of this, just there. And then I'm taking the stencil away, and I'm going to colour the background of the image, because I've got the detail down, but now I don't want white card, because that white just doesn't look, it doesn't blend in. It's not as it should be. So I do need a cleaner applicator. Let me see if I can find a cleaner one. Anything's cleaner than the one I've got on there at the minute, I think. This one looks cleaner. So cleaner applicator, and because I want this to glow here, so I'm going in circles, and I'm going quite light. If you want this, it says catching a little bit of the black soot there, but that's okay, it's fine. So quite light in the middle, like that, so we've got a glow in the center, and then I'm going to go a little bit darker as we go around the outside. So maybe go to spiced marmalade around there, like that. I might even go back over and pop a little bit more green in this, because it's going to be very browny, warmy kind of colours, but that's also quite nice. And And definitely we want to glow at the bottom, thinking about the light and where it's going to cast some light about there. But the rest of it now I'm going to do a lot darker. So maybe even go with vintage photo from now on around the outside. So just as if we're doing like a vignette kind of look, blending in like this. And I'm probably going to go in with black soot as well, because I want this to look like nighttime scene. I want it to look like it's autumn. There's a it's got that rusty kind of warm glow, but the light's coming from those lamps in this